Welcome back. So, I got a little bit of housework done, and then it was like the Lord sort of tugging at me because I do have to. I'm healthy. Don't get me wrong, and don't be worried, masculine or collective. I'm healthy. But I do have some things about my health that are very crucial, including, let's see. So a lot of people will say and have said that mental health runs in my family, mental health issues, but that's actually not true at all. It's not mental health issues that are in the genetic things on either side of my family. And the reason I say that is because I do have a couple family members who over the past 10 years had struggled with mental health, but the main issues that they struggled with were things like if you smoke cigarettes and you wind up with COPD, or if you drink alcohol, or if you take medications, and you keep doing these things, it's going to lead to mental health issues. That's just inevitable. So as these family members got older, and they had these health issues, and they didn't stay away from the alcohol and they kept smoking cigarettes, then it led into some stuff up here. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because this is probably going to speak to somebody right now, and probably a leader. So there's two things that I'm going to cover. Well, there's three things that came up actually. This one, I believe I already covered it, but I don't think I actually just made a video. So I might make a video, but I cover this all the time, but it came up today. Today I was insulted by occult members who may not even realize, and maybe they do, that they are occult members. But anyway, we'll get into that in a minute. This is what I've been given to talk on. So, yeah, so the things that, back to me, so I had this happen in my life with my family members, and there's some people that know my parents, and they'll say things like, well, you know, her mom's this, and her dad's this, her family's crazy, and stuff like that. It's actually false. Nobody in my family that I'm aware of had any mental health issues until these other things came up. And for me, I was blessed. I was so blessed because my faith took me in a direction that I was able to get ahead of a lot of these issues that were running in my family and about to go rampant. And sometimes we think judgment, we think, oh, the earth, you know, chaos in the streets, the earth crumbling and stuff like that. But we fail to realize that sometimes judgment can, on the more personal level, mean things like this, things that I'm talking about in your family, in your bloodline. So I had not only, I got my diagnosis around age 28. I'm 46 now, so I've known about these health issues for a while, and I've had to work very hard for my health. I have to keep things under control. I have to pay attention to things. And anybody with these types of genetics is going to have to do that. And in our country, it just so happens that it's a very common issue for people to have these same problems. Now, the first diagnosis that I got was not that common. It's a little common in my family, though. And that was the genetic predisposition to all types of cancer. a couple other family members had the same type of symptoms, and rare occurrences happened to them, and it had to do with the skin. And so the other two markers that I had to watch out for that ran on both sides of the family was heart disease and diabetes. So I was like, wow. You know, I looked really healthy. You know, a lot of people just like, well, she looks really healthy. She doesn't look like anything's wrong with her. She looks fine. Well, genetically, I had to get on top of these things and stay on top of these things, and I still do. I may have to do that my whole life. But I got through the dangerous parts for the most part. And how I did that was getting that early diagnosis and then letting the Lord in and letting the Lord lead. And that wasn't hard. Or, I mean, that wasn't easy. That was really hard. And I even had 2 more children, but I also had 2 more serious health scares. And so far, I have been fine. I mean, really, it's remarkable how it worked out. That's all I can say. But now, I've gotten sort of out of the woods, but I still have to stay really, really on top of these things, right? Like, it's not just going to go away. It's a genetic thing. So it's not just like, oh, well, you know, I overcame these hurdles and I'm an overcomer and that's it. I'm going to overcome everything. It's like, nope, if something comes up, I got to pay close attention to it. I can't ignore it. So the subject that comes up now is one that's even in the Bible that we've talked about a lot in my ministry, and we should talk about a lot, especially for the masculine, is heart disease and diabetes, cardiovascular health. So with that, I made a playlist, Quantum Healing, and you'll find in that playlist some nuggets, some good little nuggets for you, some guidance, So another thing that guns represent in my ministry, which now I realize that was why my bestie in my vision the other day was holding up the cup, which I think was a solo cup, which is red. And behind the cup, he was like doing this. I was like, what the hell? And then the other masculine came through and he had like green clothes and stuff on. And so it was a message from my collective about my health. And that's what twin flames are good for. Things like that. And I was like, I don't know what you guys are trying to say right now. Like, and it was like, hey, stupid, remember, you gotta target your health issues. And so then it dawned on me today. I got up and I felt inspired, you know, I felt like cooking, and I made some chili. And then I remembered, like, oh yeah, rifles. Yeah, the rife frequencies. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Really use the rife frequencies. There's a lot of healing meditation out there, and they're all good. I mean, they're all good. But if it's about your health issues, things like this, real serious type of health issues, I go straight to the rife. I go straight to the guns. I get the big guns out. So in addition to staying on top of your health, in terms of like whatever you got to do, doctor's appointments, things like that, diet, exercise, plenty of water, 20 minutes of sun, healthy sun each day, and then I recommend the meditation and the rife. You do these 5 things, you're gonna be in good shape. I promise. The rife is the way to go too. To me, those are the best. So I shared a rife for diabetes symptoms because a couple of people that I've met recently, they have diabetes, and then I tend to have those symptoms a lot come up. I had them when I was pregnant. I had gestational diabetes in my pregnancy, and that's what the Lord reminded me of. There was a little baby pee up there on the wall, and that's what triggered me to remember that, yes, if you have gestational diabetes, if you've been diagnosed with that during a pregnancy or something, then you're at risk for diabetes. So I went and refreshed myself on what are the diabetes symptoms, and I actually got this card, insult, but then it made me think of insulin too. So that was interesting. So now, from now on, if we see this card, it might be a reminder that, hey, think about your balance and your blood balance and things like that. And then also, if people are insulting you, just random insults, maybe it's the angels. Sometimes you're being targeted, but it's God trying to reach you. It's your angels trying to speak to you in a way that gets your attention. So I was like, what's up with this lady just insulting me? This tarot reader's just like, your effing house is dirty and stuff. It's like, oh, well, yeah. After I realized that it was about these diabetes symptoms, maybe my levels aren't right. Maybe my levels are going up and down. So sure enough, when I sat down in here and pulled some cards, I got this. It was like insult, and I was like, that's what that is. So earlier I said, if you don't know the Lord, you're gonna call him a saint. You're gonna call him a prophet. You're gonna call him you know, maybe stuff like that. I didn't say that, but that's what I was getting all triggered about, was the guy, and he's coming from what I consider an occult influence, not necessarily practicing occult, but it's associated with secularism or secular entertainment. Therefore, it falls under this category, right? I'm not always calling somebody a wicked practicing witch per se, but sometimes the things you're involved in, or the things that entertainment is involved in, is connected to the secular world, and so it will show up in my readings as a cult. And that can be a sign that someone does not know the Lord if they say certain things, and everybody might not catch that. But that's what I was talking about, and it came up. But then again, I was like, you know what? Maybe that is the Lord trying to get my attention. He's trying to say, you're getting, all riled up. But it was leading me to this. So I just want to share that. So insult, crooked yoke, that could also speak to your blood issues. And furthermore, if you're going to go the healing track, if like you want to go deeper and you're like, what, because every illness and disease is connected to either our childhood or our mental programming, things like that, stress related. Were you insulted a lot in your life? Are you one that tends to not let insults fly off of you too easy? These things can affect our health. And I'm not saying that that's like the cause of diabetes, but it can be a major contributing factor. So if you pay attention to those things and pray about those things, that's basically what I'm saying. I know that's what I dealt with a lot growing up, and in my life, my people could be very insulting. And I went through this targeting from the enemy. When you have a call on your life, that's what a lot of us deal with. I went through that from birth. So the Lord has been healing that with me. literally taking things off me that have been on me, that came on from the womb. So that's all. I just wanted to share that and remind you to check out the playlist and check out the details below the videos and stuff like that. You're going to find a lot of times some really good stuff in there for you. So if you're a masculine, so we have to pray for the masculine's heart. And just because I say masculine doesn't mean it's the man. It could be a female. If it's heart issues for a female, in the twin flame reading and in the healing, the quantum healing stuff that I do, it can show up as masculine energy. So take care of your heart at this time. That's take care of your balance, and have a balanced diet, and especially because these holidays are approaching. So I'm gonna do a little video on knowing the Lord, probably a video on insults, and if I haven't already done one and it's not in my playlist, I'll cover this one too. I'm gonna work on that the rest of the day. I'm not even letting my child go outside to play, just so I can get a few more things done in terms of like what I want to put on the channel for you guys. So I love you. Check out the playlist. Bye.